Hey guys, I'm Daniel Evanchen with the Mike McCann team over at Keller Williams Philly. Today we're going to be talking about several different ways to reduce your time spent managing your tenants. When people buy rental properties, they don't buy them to have a second job. They're meant to be passive income, but they can very easily become extremely demanding. To be fair, some degree of work is needed to buy, manage, and maintain accounts for tax purposes, but that doesn't mean the amount of work can't be reduced. After all, isn't that the goal of being a landlord? Whether this describes your current situation or you're considering buying a rental property, you've come to the right place because I'm going to go over 6 different tips to reduce your tenant management. Tip number 1, look for tenants who are looking to stay for a long period of time and are respectful. That seems obvious, but it often gets left behind for a bigger question. That question is, how likely is the tenant to pay rent? While this is a very important question, it shouldn't be the only question you're asking. Turnovers are where most work and expenses of being a landlord occur, 90% in fact. If you can find long-term, low-maintenance residents, you will have a steady incoming source of rent for years without the extra work and expenses involved with turnovers. When screening potential tenants, look at their moving history. How often do they move? Every year or every 10 years? Or have they only lived in one place? Ideally, you want them there for at least 3 years. Also, when screening, see if you can speak to their previous or current landlord to see how they treated their unit and how high maintenance they were. Finding tenants with a history of low maintenance and long-term residency is key to reducing the costs and expenses associated with turnovers. Tip number 2, make reminders for renewing leases and raise the rent slowly. When you have tenants, be sure to set a reminder for each tenant in your calendar when rent or renewal is due. If the tenants are high in maintenance and not giving you a high return on your investment, you can send them a non-renewal notice. Keep in mind to review your lease to see how many days notice you need to provide your tenant before non-renewing their lease or raising the rent. If you are happy with your tenants, you can send them a lease renewal with a very small increase to rent. Myself and other investors recommend landlords raise their rent 1 to 4% a year depending on your market to set expectations. This is important because if you don't, you may find that after 10 years of renting, your rent rates are 20% below market value, making it hard to increase rent 20% without your tenants moving out. This means you'll have a turnover, which means more expenses and work. Tip number 3, find a dependable handyman who can do just about everything. Most maintenance calls you'll get are small fixes. This one is huge. You typically will not need a specialist or contractor to fix these small issues. Start by reaching out to other investors or property managers for dependable and efficient handymen. Try multiple different ones out, and once you find one you like and can depend on, start building a relationship with them. Get to know them personally and be sure to do small things, thanking them for their work such as a birthday card or a holiday card or even holiday bonuses. By building a personal relationship with that person, they'll be more inclined to help you out when your tenants have an issue. Instead of wasting time negotiating with contractors, you can now solve that maintenance issue with one call. Tip number 4, take rent directly from your tenant's paycheck. No landlord ever wants to hear checks in the mail. Least of all, having to chase a tenant that can never seem to be making rent on time. It's a waste of time and you shouldn't have to do it. Consider instead setting up an automated rent collection that pulls directly from your tenant's paycheck. As mentioned before, your goal here is passive income, meaning less work for you. You don't want to be chasing tenants down only to hear, "I can't make rent until next Monday." There's a variety of different companies that offer this service, so feel free to research a few or hit me up to get some recommendations. Tip number 5, take on a leasing agent for turnovers but maintain your own management. I started this video by mentioning turnovers as your largest work and expense source. Most of the management work can be easily done by you when the property is occupied. You typically only have to manage collecting rent, handling inspections, doing preventative maintenance, and the occasional repair. So if turnovers are the largest source of work and expenses, it may be wise to invest in a leasing agent. Leasing agents are very beneficial as they can advertise your property, recommend certain repairs, show the property, and screen applicants for you. As for the recommended repairs, you simply send out your handyman to finish the job. In short, you're giving the leasing agent the hard work and doing the easy work yourself, saving you time and money. Tip number 6, set automatic reminders for maintenance and inspections. Property management advisors recommend inspecting your property at least twice a year. Not only does it show your tenant how serious you are about your property, but it also allows you to catch maintenance issues as early as possible, as well as preventing your tenant from breaking any lease rules. By setting automatic reminders, you'll be sure to catch any early issues before they turn into something much more expensive and inconvenient. Take, for example, an HVAC routine service. If you set your first inspection to October, when HVAC technicians are in their off-season, you'll find that they are 10 times more flexible, available, and affordable. Compare this to receiving a call from your tenant at 3 in the morning during January to tell you the heat is out. You'll have a harder time scheduling an HVAC technician, and it will be a lot more costly. Well, there you have it, guys. 6 tips helping you reduce your tenant management. I hope you guys learned something new in this video. If you want to see more, be sure to slap that like button and consider subscribing. I'm constantly uploading new videos that will help give you the ins and outs you need to know in real estate world. If you have any questions or want to learn more, don't hesitate to drop me a comment down below or any of my social media accounts. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.